Alright, welcome back again. This is A Squared Maths Made Easy on the line. Now we're still talking about past question for Edexcel-A-level maths. And this is past question. And this question that I carved out is from June 2022, P1Q question. Now the question says, dx of sine 3x is dash. Remember, it is theory. Now this d over dx of sine 3x simply means y is sine 3x. Now this is why all of this is called what? Y. So which means we are asked to differentiate. Are you with me now? Now what you are going to do, there is what we call differentiation by chain rule. By what? Chain rule. Why are we using chain rule? The essence of using chain rule is that this particular function is a single function, single word function. Now let's assume that we have x here attached to it. It is no longer chain rule. We call it product rule. So permit me to clean this x and assume it over x. It is no longer chain rule. We call it quotient rule. This is how to verify it. Now since it's differentiation by chain rule, what is the formula for chain rule? What? dy all over what? Dx is now equal to du over what? Dx times dy all over what? Du. All over what? Du. Now the first thing we are going to consider is du dx. What is du dx? Always consider the one after the 3 as what? U. I will now say let u be equals to what? 3 words x. Can I differentiate now u with respect to what? X. It will give me du all over what? Dx. Then equals to. Then how do we differentiate? Consider the power. This is invisible what? 1. The law is to consider the power, which is 1. Then you multiply. Then repeat the question, which is 3x raised to the power of that same 1. Then introduce minus 1 to the power. And that is the general formula for differentiation. Then if I continue, I will now say 1 times 3x will give me 3 words x. Then 1 minus 1 to the power is what? 0. And the law of this, according to indices, is that when you have a number to power 0, the answer is 1. So it becomes what? 3 times 1. And what is 3 times 1? 3. So you can agree with me that we have known du dx as what? 3. Remaining dy du. Then how do we get dy du? I want you to watch. How do we solve for dy du? Now dy du is this, very simple. We now say let what? Y be equals to, now sine, I will now put sine what? U, because already 3x is what? U. Then differentiate y with respect to what? U. You will give you dy all over what? Du. Now what do we do next? Differentiate sine. Anytime you are asked to differentiate sine, the answer is always cos. Then cos what? U. I am done. Now what do we do? We now go back to the formula and substitute. Now this is the formula, right? I want you to watch. Now dy dx is now equal to, the first one is du dx. This is du dx. I have cleaned it already. Du over dx. What is the value? 3. Here is 3, right? Then times. Then the next one is dy du. Dy du is cos u. I will put here as cos what? U. Finally, 3 times cos will give us 3 what? Cos. Then do we know the value of u? What is the value of u? Look at it, and we have cleaned it before, and this is the value of u, which is 3x. I will now write here as 3x, and that is the final word answer. See you in my next class. Bye.